Reminds me of the genre I recently got into. Not a game, but I recently made a video about this, about how like, oh, I've given up on Isekai. Spoiler, I haven't given up on Isekai.
I was like, what happened? What happened?
Yeah. I haven't completely given up, but I've been getting into webtoons and webcomics recently.
Okay.
And I don't really know why, because a lot of them are definitely not as good as manga is.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever read any webcomics at all? Nope. Any webtoons?
I've read
like Solo Leveling, Tower
like
of
a sponsor.
God.
Yeah.
Anything?
I've read a bunch of like manhwas and like a couple of like Japanese web comics and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize this, but basically, you know, so Japan has manga, Korea has manhwa, and China has manhwa, right? And they all have like their equivalent of, let's say, the isekai genre, which is no matter what country, no matter, you know,
there will always be, I'm a gamer.
Yeah, there will always be a way to throw some shitty power fantasy, like kind of like bullshit. And every different country has its own genre. So in Korea, Korean webcomics, the genre that is massive is this genre called regression, which is basically a roguelike. So the entire genre is all about some guy...
Multiple isekais.
Huh?
Multiple
isekais. Yeah. Some guy does
motherfuckers
something.
when one reincarnation is in the mouth.
Yeah, no. So one guy does something, he dies or something happens, and then he travels back in time. He travels back in time to an earlier point in his life with all of the knowledge that he has of the future. And it's basically ReZero. You know, it's basically ReZero, but just imagine an entire genre based around this, but just it not being as good as ReZero.
The 25 best regression, man. Holy shit.
There is way more than 25.
There's a top 25?
There is
so
way
many.
more than 25. I can say, I don't think there are 25 good ones. There are like...
How many good ones are there?
So it depends, right? It depends.
Out of this list here, do you know of any of them?
My daughter's the final boss. That's good. How to use it. Okay, the problem with all of these titles is that 90, like Isekai, look at these and tell me how many of them sound like the same shit.
I mean, I sleep on all of them, to be honest.
Leveling with the Gods, Returning of the Mad Demon.
Triple F class trash hero. Okay, I kind of want to read that
one. Reborn Rich. Like, what?
A Man's Man?
A Man's Man is actually good.
Oh, I love number 14. Returning with absolutely nothing.
A Man's Man is good. Chulsu Saves the World is good.
Father, I don't want this marriage. What are these titles?
Bro, some of these, the fantasy of a stepmother. Okay, I need to read that
I'm down
one.
for that.
Oh, all right. I was awake for that one.
Oh god, I need to read that one. But yeah, it's something. I don't know. I found it harder to read manga recently just because I really like reading physical volumes. But for some reason, webcomics, even though I think in general, the level of quality is way worse than what you can find in manga, I feel like the ease of access makes it a lot better. If I actually have a
reading manga is kind of tough.
Was that sarcastic?
Yeah.
So difficult, guys.
No. I mean, it's about the feeling. It's about the feeling.
Okay.
It's about the feeling.
Sorry.
You know. No, one medical return. That's pretty good as well.
These look like fanfics.
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them did start off as fan fictions. No, actually, one that I do genuinely recommend though, is this one called Omniscient Reader's Viewpoints, which I think could have the potential to be like, if it gets an anime adaptation, it has the potential to be.
I'll be struggling to spell omniscient.
It's okay, Nabi. It's okay. It took me ages to like. How do I pronounce?
I think it's omniscient.
Omniscient.
There you go. Reader's viewpoint. There it is.
Yeah. Problem is, this looks from the cover, all of these webcomics look generic as fuck.
Yeah, they all look
Yeah,
yeah.
they really do.
This one's basically free in webtoons, so it's an easy read.
Let's read the synopsis of this. Doctor was an average office worker whose sole interest was reading his favorite web novel, 3 Ways to Survive the Apocalypse. They wrote a web novel inside a web novel? Okay.
Yeah.
But when the novel suddenly becomes reality, he is the only person who knows how the world will end. Armed with this realization, Doctor uses his understanding to change the course of the story and the world as he knows it.
Bro, it's so good.
Yeah, that's
it's
not
so
that
good.
synopsis just
That synopsis does not do justice then.
All right, let me give you a better
Okay,
synopsis
all right, go
of
on,
this.
do it,
Let
go
me
on,
be
do it, go on.
This guy, all right.
Chad?
Huh?
Chad?
Actual Chad.
It looks
Actual
like a Chad.
He's the guy on the left.
Okay.
But basically, he is committed to reading this shitty ass fucking web novel. That is like the fucking filthiest trash that he gets to chapter 3000, I believe.
Dude, that's like you. No wonder you like this shit.
I'm like, yo, he just like me for real.
What the heck? No wonder you like this shit.
He just like me for real, man. But then he's the only one who reads up to the end. And as soon as he gets to the end points, it turns out that everything that happens in this web novel, which is kind of like a death game, starts to happen in reality. And he's given one ability, and that's the ability to that's having this web novel on his phone, and he can read it really fast. So basically, he has all of the knowledge of what
Gun,
is,
you're not selling me on this.
he has all of the
sound
knowledge.
good.
He has all of the knowledge of what is going to happen. What is going to happen in this death game? In this death game.
So
Well,
what's
if you say it's going to be good, I actually trust you, but the way you're describing it makes it sound
What
boring.
I'm hearing is this is just Mirai Nikki, but a web novel.
Mirai Nikki, is that a death game? Oh
Yes.
yeah, that is a death game.
It's Mirai Nikki where they can read into the future.
I'd say it's more like Squid Game, if anything, where the thing that makes
Come on,
this,
Joe, it's Korean.
it's Korean, it's Korean, Joe, it's Korean.
Squid Game.
Sorry.
It's Squid Game, but the thing that makes it stand-
Squid-like.
Squid-like.
Okay, yes, it is a squid-like. This is a squid-like story.
Okay, squid-like
where,
story. Got it, yeah.
The thing that makes it stand out is this is one of the most meta pieces of media I've ever read in my life. So
That's
what
cool.
happens is that he actually meets the protagonist of the story that's of his
Okay.
reading.
Hell yeah.
And like the protagonist of this story, he's a fucking dick, but he's also overpowered as shit, right? So using his knowledge of the characters, he has to find a way to befriend all of the characters from this story in order to survive this game and kind of like take advantage of
Oh, that's cool.
all of the
That's actually good,
characteristics and
yeah.
all the powers they have. And using that knowledge and using, being able to befriend all these characters, he's able to take advantage of the systems in the storyline in each of the death games in a kind of like a Log Horizon kind of way. So
I'm awake.
So
I think they should get you to write these fucking synopses because like you did a so much better job than whatever that was.
yeah, this basically what makes it stand out is it's someone who's obviously read a lot of trashy power fantasy stuff.
Right.
And he's like, how can I take all of these elements and just kind of like make a meta thing that not really satirizes it, but just takes the parts you see the most and tries to make an interesting story out of it.
Right.
And this is it. I feel like this could be this pops off harder than something like Solo Leveling nowadays. And
That sounds kind of cool when you put it like that.
yeah, and to me, I'm like, have you seen the Solo Leveling anime at all?
No.
I've seen up to episode whatever the recap episode was, 7.
Oh, you've seen?
Yeah.
you've seen up to episode
I've
7.
seen up to episode
Is it good?
7.5.
Bro, I forgot how I forgot how boring the beginning of Solo Leveling.
Yeah,
is,
I was
man.
like, I've heard
Holy
this. I was like,
shit.
I've heard this manga was really fucking good. So I gave it a watch, and I'm like, when does this get good?
I think it starts to get good from memory, right? From memory, it starts to. Not, I wouldn't even say good is like.
Oh, no.
Good is a hey. Do you like Sword Art Online, but more of the same? You know, it starts to get good, I think, at the end of season 1. But considering
that's long.
considering that even like Mr. Beast was watching Solo Leveling, I'm
Yeah.
like, I was surprised how many people were actually watching this and thinking that it was good.
I got
People
fooled.
are dumb.
This is gonna go on Twitter. This is gonna go on Twitter.
I got fooled because like every single person I know of who's like read the original Solo Leveling manhwa was just hyping on about like how fucking amazing this was, and I was just, and they were like trying to sell it to me. You were trying to sell it to
Same thing
me.
with One Piece.
It was-
One Piece fans forget how boring the start of One Piece is.
Oh, right, but like
One Piece has a really good plot. Solo Leveling, the webcomic, the reason it pops off so much was because just the art.
the art is insane.
The art is godlike,
Yeah.
and during some of the action scenes, during some of the hype scenes, it fucking pops off, and I totally agree with that. And what it does well, it does really well. Problem is, when you take that to animation, we've had Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. You know, we've had Demon Slayer. We've set the bar that high for action scenes that pop off, and the action scenes in Solo Leveling. All right, they're all right. They're not
Yeah, they're
bad.
aight.
Yeah, you've seen it. You've seen them,
Yeah.
right? They're all right. They're not bad, but they're definitely not at that level of some of the top action anime that we've seen. And if it
Yeah.
can't reach that level, then
Unfortunately,
like-
people are not going to care
Fair
as
enough.
much.
yeah.
fair
And
enough.
unfortunately, people are not going to care as much about it. So, point is, don't read Solo Leveling. Actually, now, go read Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. I'm off the Solo Leveling train. Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. Please make that a big thing,
Okay.
because I would love to see an anime about that.